Welcome to our second part. This is 2024 Internal Biology Paper 2, Section B. So in this one, we are going to focus on essay questions. As you know, Paper 2 has Section A, where you, for Section A, you write word answers. Okay? Then for Section B, you have essay questions that you need to answer. And the section has 5 questions, or comprised of 5 questions. Total marks 36 marks. Each question is 12 marks, of which you are required to answer 3 questions. All right, so now very important, what you need to know is that on this section, you write the answers. You write the answers in the separate booklet provided, or answer booklet provided. And most importantly, all your answers should be in complete sentences and paragraph. So very important information. Complete sentences and paragraph. From the basic English, you know what a sentence is. And of course, you know what a paragraph is. So that is what you are going, or that is the knowledge that you apply here. All right, so for the sake of us moving fast, I've typed all the answers to the questions that came in 2024. I'm going to read through, and of course I'll be guiding you how to write. Remember, full sentences and paragraphs. Okay, so if you've watched the first part, I gave you these questions and I said next time we are going to answer them. At this particular point, I presume you copied the questions and you have them. If you've not watched the first part, please, you might want to go back before you come for this one. So you have question 1 here. A of question 1 says, explain the importance of respiration. Explain the importance of respiration. So now, when you are writing, I've just written the question here for the sake of following, but when you are answering, you just write A. Okay, you don't write any title, you don't write anything, you just number your question. Let's say you're answering question 1, then of course A, you just put A like this, then you start writing. I guess I'm not confusing anyone. So to answer the question, explain the importance of respiration, you have to write, or to you write, respiration is essential for release of energy from the food substance as it breaks down glucose and other nutrients to produce ATP in cells. It also plays a critical role in maintaining the balance of carbon dioxide and oxygen in the atmosphere by using oxygen and releasing carbon dioxide as the byproduct. So that is what you write on this part. Explain the importance of respiration. That is what you need to write. So do not bullet your answers, or do not number. Instead, you write in a paragraph. This is the whole paragraph. This is the paragraph. Respiration is essential for the release of energy from the food substances as it breaks down glucose and other nutrients to produce ATP in the cells. It plays a critical role in maintaining the balance of carbon dioxide and oxygen by using oxygen and releasing carbon dioxide as the byproduct. So I urge you here, as you watch the video, you can copy also the answers. So this is the answer to the first question, and that is 2 marks. Okay, and I've given 2 points here. So 2 points, 2 marks. Then B question of the first question, compare and contrast aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Compare and contrast aerobic and anaerobic respiration. How many marks? 6 marks. Now, another thing that I should emphasize is that the number of marks determine the information that you should give. Okay? So 6 marks, you should be able to give the information worthy 6 marks. And the other thing is that you need to understand the question first. This question, for example, is in 2 parts. We have the part for compare, then contrast. So compare, you give the similarities. Contrast, you give the differences. So compare and contrast. All right, so the first part, we are going to write the paragraph for comparing. Okay, so let us start with the first part, which is for comparing. So you can say, The similarities between aerobic and anaerobic respiration are you start writing both aerobic and anaerobic respiration uses glucose as the starting molecule for energy production. That is one point. Both processes occur within living cells. That is another point. Both processes produces ATP, which is adenosine triphosphate, which is the storage form of energy in cells. That is another point. Both type of respiration plays a critical role in cellular metabolism, providing energy for various cell activities. That is another point. So just from what I've written here, I've scored about 3 marks or 4 marks, depending with how they were marking. If they gave compare 3 marks, because the total is 6, if they gave compare 3 marks, then I've gotten all the 3 marks because all the 3 points are there. Okay, so that is for similarities. Then another paragraph. So now for paragraph, I don't know which one you're going to use, if it's indenting or leaving a space, but I'm sure you know what I mean. I have a recording, I think, where I oriented on how to write the essay, the paragraph, and all that, what it means. So you might want to go through. So done with the part for comparing or similarities. Now up for the part for differences. So here, another paragraph, you can say, the differences between aerobic and anaerobic respiration are that aerobic respiration occurs in the presence of oxygen, while anaerobic respiration occurs in the absence of oxygen or does not require oxygen. That is a mark. Aerobic respiration produces quite a huge amount of energy, while anaerobic respiration produces low amount of energy. That is another point. Okay, in aerobic respiration, carbon dioxide and water are produced by as byproducts, whereas in anaerobic respiration, lactic acid is produced as byproduct. Another point. Okay, so here I've given about 3 points as well. So which means I've answered the question fully. That is for compare and contrast aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Like I said, make sure that you write the question, then you also copy the answers. That way maybe it might be easy for you to follow. Okay, so you write contrast, similarities, and also the differences. Okay, all right, then C of question 1. So we are still on question 1. Question C, explain the industrial application of respiration. 4 marks. Okay, so how do you write this one? Remember, full sentences and paragraph, or complete sentences and paragraph. So the first paragraph, I'll say, respiration plays a crucial role in various industrial processes such as baking, brewing, and dairy. Now I start working on these points. So each point should be in a paragraph or separate paragraph. In baking, yeast ferment sugar producing carbon dioxide gas, which get trapped in the dough, causing it to rise. So in baking, that is how respiration is used. Then in brewing, yeast undergo anaerobic respiration, converting sugars from grain into ethanol and carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide produced creates the fizz in beer, while the ethanol contributes to the alcoholic content. So that is how it is used in what? Brewing. Then in dairy industry, we can say in dairy industry, respiration is used in the production of yogurt. You can also add and cheese. So yogurt production involves the fermentation of the milk by lactic bacteria, which undergo anaerobic respiration. The bacteria produce lactic acid, which gives yogurt its characteristic tanginess and texture. So that is how it is used in the dairy industry. But here you can also talk of in sewer treatment. Okay, you can talk also of sewer treatment. So we've answered question 1 fully. So please, like I said, make sure that you follow through. You can pause the video, you write the information that you need, and also then you continue. Let us look at question 2. So question 2, the first question, which is A, was describe how you'd demonstrate the process of transpiration using a simple potometer. This one was the 4 marks. How can you, or how would you demonstrate the process of transpiration using a simple potometer? What do you write? So here to write, we are going to say, cut a leaf shoot under the water in order to prevent the air bubbles from entering xylem, full stop. Fit the cut shoot into the potometer by the rubber tubing. This should also be done under water. The tube is then greased, wired to provide airtight seal to prevent entry of air into the apparatus. Air bubbles is introduced at the end of the capillary tube by removing it from the water and placing it back. Then the apparatus is placed in the direct sunlight. The distance moved by the air bubbles per unit time is measured using a ruler, and the tap at a reservoir is used to restart the experiment to adjust the position of the air bubble. So the whole of this information is the one that you need for to describe how you demonstrate the process of transpiration using the simple potometer. If you write this, you are assured of 4 marks. Okay, I guess you followed. Like I said, please make sure that you copy a question, then copy the answers. Then maybe you can come back and watch the video now as you read through the answers. Then B of question 2 was investigate the factors that affect rate of transpiration. So you write factors that affect the rate of transpiration includes humidity, light intensity, wind speed, and temperature. So you have about 4 factors there. Then you start explaining them one by one, each in one paragraph. So let us start with the temperature. You can define temperature, what temperature is. So we start by defining temperature. So temperature is the degree of hotness or coldness of the substance. Now, how does it affect the rate of transpiration? The higher the temperature, the higher the rate of transpiration. This is because the temperature increases the kinetic energy of the water molecules, making them diffuse faster out of the leaf. As you know, transpiration is just a diffusion of water molecules through the stomata out of the leaf. So when the temperature increases, the kinetic energy of the water molecules increases, making them to diffuse faster. And that is how it affects the rate of transpiration. Then what about humidity? So humidity is just the amount of water vapor in the atmosphere. Okay? Now this one reduces the concentration gradient. So we can say the higher the humidity, the lower the rate of transpiration, because high humidity lowers the concentration gradient between the leaf and the atmosphere, hence slows down the diffusion of water from the leaf through the stomata. So that is how you can write on the humidity. Then of course we go to light intensity. So light intensity is just the brightness or dimness of light. So the higher the light intensity, the higher the rate of transpiration. And this is because the higher light intensity stimulates or causes the opening of the stomata. So light intensity is the brightness and the dimness of light. The higher the light intensity, the higher the rate of transpiration, or the higher the transpiration rate, because the high light intensity causes opening of the stomata. The stomata is just the pore where water passes. So when it is open, water is able to come out or diffuse out. Then what about wind speed? So wind speed, we are just looking at the speed of the wind. Okay, it affects the rate of transpiration. The higher the wind speed, the greater the transpiration. When the air is still, the layer of water vapor forms over the leaf and reduces the transpiration. But when there is wind, the layer of water vapor is blown away, thereby increasing the diffusion rate. So that is how you describe this. And look at the marks. How many marks we had for this one? 8 marks. So 8 marks, you need to write the whole of this information. And I guess if you are given a question this time around, you would answer it. Okay? Let us have a look at the one that was question 3. So question 3A, explain the functions of the human skin. 8 marks. So explain the function of human skin. 8 marks. So how do you write this one? So he said the human skin is a complex organ that perform multiple functions essential for maintaining overall health. Here are some overview of the many parts of the skin and the functions. 1, the epidermis. This is the topmost layer of the skin. The epidermis protect the inner parts of the skin. Okay, so you've written on the epidermis. Then we go to the dermis. The dermis, which is the thicker inner layer, consists of the what? The sebaceous gland, which produce oily secretion to keep the skin and the hair soft. So we've written something on the dermis. Then we write on the sweat gland. The sweat gland produces the sweat, which removes the heat from the body, and it cools the body when it is hot. Okay, so that is the function of the sweat gland as part of the skin. Then the capillary blood, or blood capillaries. Blood capillaries supplies nutrients to the skin. So I say which supplies the skin with nutrients and also regulate the temperature. So written something on the capillaries. Then the nerve cells. The nerve cells detect the changes in temperature, pressure, and touch. Okay, so we've written something here on the nerves. That is the paragraph. Then we go to the other one, which is subcutaneous layer, which stores fats for insulation against heat. So we've written, we've given the functions of the many part of the skin. Explain the function of the part of this human skin. So that is how you write it. Okay, so equally here, pause the video, make sure that you copy everything. Then of course you can start going through as you revise. Then for B, describe the role of the skin in excretion. We are still on question 3B. Describe the role of human skin in excretion. 4 marks. So how do you write this one? So the skin plays a vital role in excretion by eliminating what? Excess water and excess salt and waste product like urea through sweating. So that is what you write here. Okay, so please make sure that here, if you can add some more information, make sure that you add some more information. Otherwise, 4 marks for this question. Let us go to question 4. So the first question here on question 4, that is question A, describe the many function of the parts of the human brain. Describe the function of the main part of the brain. So like I said, please, when you are answering, the whole of this question is not supposed to be there. You just put, let's say question 4A, you start writing. So don't include this question. I've just included it so that you can follow. So we start writing. The main part of the brain and their functions are 1, the medulla oblongata. This links the spinal cord and the brain and conduct nerve impulses between these 2 parts. It also controls, so here it controls the automatic processes such as the heart rate, breathing, swallowing, salivating, sneezing, and coughing. So given the function of the medulla oblongata. Then cerebellum, we come to cerebellum. This controls the coordinated movement, helps maintain posture, and also controls the sequence of activities involved in dancing, acrobatics, playing of music instruments. So that is the function of the cerebellum. Then what about the hypothalamus? So the hypothalamus is sometimes regarded as the center of homeostasis. This contains the center which controls thirst, hunger, and thermoregulation. Okay, so we've written something on the hypothalamus. Then we come to cerebrum. Cerebrum. This is the largest part of the brain and its center of intelligence, memory, language, and consciousness. It has both motor and sensory areas. The motor are in control of the voluntary movement. The sensory are interpreting sensations and are linked by association areas. Injury to the cerebellum involves or may result into it lowers intelligence. So that is about the cerebellum or cerebrum. Then of course that's about question A. Question B or 4, explain the effect of abuse of drugs on the nervous system. 3 marks. Explain the effect of abuse of drugs on the nervous system. So you can write, drug abuse can have severe and long-lasting effects on the nervous system. Drugs can slow down or displace the breathing center of the brain, leading to shallow or irregular breathing. In severe cases, drug abuse can cause respiratory failure, which can be life-threatening if not treated promptly. So this is one of the effects. So you put it in a paragraph. Another one, drug abuse can also damage neurons, which may lead to disruption of neural communication. This in turn may lead to problems with coordination, balance, and movement. So we've written another part. Then drug abuse can slow down the reaction time, making it more difficult to respond to stimulation or situations quickly. And it may in turn increase the risk of accident, injuries, and fatalities. Okay, so these are the effect of drugs on the nervous system. 3 marks. Okay. Then finally, question 5. The first question is, describe the measure which could be put in place to prevent air and land pollution. So here it is in two parts. Prevent air and land pollution. So how do you write it? So like I said, the whole of this question that is in red, when you are writing, is not needed. You just put A, then you start writing. So the following are some of the strategies that can be implemented to prevent air and water pollution. So applying the 3 R's, that is reuse, reduce, reuse, and recycle. So that is one of the points. Now explain what it means: reduce, reuse, and recycle. So you can further add, to reduce waste, choose products with minimal packaging, buy in bulk, and avoid single-use plastic. Then reusing, items like bags, containers, and bottles can also reduce the need for new resources. Okay, resources intense products can reduce the need for new resource intense product. That is on reuse. So you reuse the items, the bags. Then recycling, plastic, glasses, and metal help conserve natural resources, reduce landfills waste, and decrease greenhouse gases. So the waste need to be reused or recycled, which means remade into new instead of just dumping them. Okay. Then air pollution and water pollution can also be prevented by afforestation, which is just a planting of trees and other vegetation to absorb carbon dioxide and produce oxygen and filter out pollutants from the air. Then another point is reducing and reducing burning and combustion is essential to decrease air pollution. Okay, then transitioning to alternative source of energy such as solar, wind, hydroelectric power can also help to reduce dependence on fossil fuels and decrease air pollution. Water pollution can be prevented by treating waste products before disposing them in water bodies. This can be achieved through waste water treatment system, industrial treatment, and proper septic system. By implementing these measures, pollutant, nutrients, and pathogens can be removed from waste water, preventing contamination of water bodies and protecting the environment. Air pollution can also be prevented by implementing fuel gas desulfurization system to convert sulfur dioxide emissions from power plants and industrial sources into sulfuric acid, which can be used in various industrial applications. So this was the first part of question 5, and the marks were 6 marks. Okay, so please, if you have a way of summarizing even this information but in paragraphs and of course full sentences, you are free. Okay, so that was 6 marks. And the last part of the question is explain the importance of conserving Roman numeral 1 plant species and also animal species. Okay, so please, this part I'll leave it to you. Here are my answers. Let me just flash them. Here are the answers. So you can pause the video, you copy the answers. You can pause the video, you copy the answers. So that was for animal or plants. This is for animal species, for conserving animal species. So the whole of this information, all right, so this brings us to the end of all the questions, that is essay questions. So please make sure that you copy all the answers if you are interested. Otherwise, we can end here, and don't forget to register for to come for physical lessons. Okay, we are found in Lusaka, Kawata area, and Saturdays or weekends we offer free revision program. So if you have challenging topics or challenging topic that you need help, you can come through. That is over the weekend. You can get in touch on the number 0976 402563. Also, we teach online for those that are outside Lusaka. We teach online, and of course you can still get in touch for more information. Otherwise, if you've enjoyed the lesson, do not forget to share. Make sure that you subscribe to this YouTube channel, and see you in the next one.